Yellow Trailblazers, welcome back to another Honkai Star Rail theory crafting video and our very first Honkai Star Rail tier list video. So, as some of you all are aware, I am very much physically attracted to tier lists in anime mobile games. Like, not necessarily in a sexual way, but an intellectual way, as to me they represent an epic amalgamation of the grueling work you put into theory crafting each character individually. There's just something about physically dragging each character to their appropriate power ranking that tickles my butthole, so obviously I just had to make a tier list of my own. Unfortunately, the thing is, due to being busy with Dota 2, I just don't have the time, dedication, or drive to make a tier list of my own, so because of that, I will instead be tier listing other people's tier lists in this tier list. And in terms of the tier list I will be grading in this video, I just searched for Honkai Star Rail tier list and selected whatever YouTube happened to recommend me. The first tier list I found was from the well-known, highly regarded theory crafter Mtashed, and though I came in with very high expectations from Mtashed, unfortunately he did drop the ball in a major way by making it a community voting tier list.
Disclaimer, this is a community tier list and it's based on votes.
The thing is, what Mtashed is doing here is avoiding responsibility and instead giving himself plausible deniability for any bad placements in the tier list. So now when I criticize how Bailu is far too high in this tier list or QQ is far too low, Mtashed can just say, well, that wasn't me who did that. And I guess he would be right in the technical sense, it wasn't him, it was the community. But I just find that highly irresponsible, as people come to theory crafters as the source of truth and not just to regurgitate the drivel of the mindless masses. So while I do truly believe Mtashed has the potential to produce a banger tier list, unfortunately this ain't it, and I'm going to have to place this one into the D tier. Next tier list I found was from MrPokke, who, to be fully transparent, I'm actually a massive aficionado of. He does Trailblazer analysis videos similar to me, but I honestly recommend you all watch his analysis on a Trailblazer before mine, as he just does a better job at giving a more elementary, condensed, easy to understand overview than I do. Like, think of it this way, watching MrPokke is like watching Naruto, and watching me is more like watching Legends of the Galactic Heroes. Both Naruto and Legends of the Galactic Heroes are good anime, but one can be followed more mindlessly, whereas the other will require a higher level of thinking to follow. My point is, I just want to be clear that I came into this tier list being massively biased into agreeing with it, which is why it's with no pleasure that I have to inform you all that I ended up being not impressed with the tier list at all. I had a couple gripes with it, but what really shocked me was MrPokke's unexpectedly bad placement of Jimmy Young.
I do personally believe that Jingyuan is worthy to be in the A tier.
A tier for Genghis Chungus is far too generous, and if any theory crafter knows this, it should be MrPokke. For those unaware, MrPokke destroyed Young Jing with his factually backed showcases and calculations. He really just showed Jing's need to be overhyped, and honestly was a big part on why I personally flipped my opinion on him as well. Like, honestly, the term destroy is not doing enough justice. MrPokke humiliated Jimmy Kimmel, casting him down like a broken-winged bird into the loser's pit of shame amidst an unceasing stream of ridicule and scorn that I have never witnessed a fictional anime mobile gaming character to undergo. Like, it got to the point where members of the Jing Yuan main subreddit petitioned to ban MrPokke to protect their general from incurring more of his unmerciful wrath. Anyways, given all this, I think you all can understand why I just had higher expectations of MrPokke to more appropriately rank Jimmy von Eisburn on the tier list. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this tier list a D ranking. Next tier list I found was a YouTube short by the theory crafter LOL Brando.
Luocha, easy S tier. Mystical Trailblazer, easy D tier. Welt, S tier. Clara, A tier.
And unfortunately, in the comment section for this tier list, multiple Trailblazers are saying to not let this man cook, which is theory crafter terminology, meaning your tier list is dog shit. And I have to say, I do agree with these commenters. Lil Bro cannot properly make an anime mobile gaming tier list. This is an L tier list. This guy has no Riz, very L Riz, Despacito, ain't no way this is a theory crafter, who let him cook. LOL Brando, more like L Brando. This tier list goes into the F tier. Next tier list I found was from a theory crafter that goes by Gacha Smack. So some of you all may remember that Gacha Smack was the theory crafter whose HP % bleed build I endorsed a while back. However, the thing is, since then, it has come to my attention that actually attack % bleed is the far superior way at winning at this video game. A proud Latinx viewer of mine sent me undisputable proof that this was the case in a showcase, and I will be sure to link that in the description for you all to take a look at their showcase. Unfortunately, back then I was not able to correct the record as I was out camping when this was sent to me, and by the time I got back, Blade was no longer trending on YouTube search. So obviously I couldn't do anything to counteract the misinformation I spreaded. Anyways, my point is, I did come into this video already biased against Gacha Smack as he calls me to spread misinformation, so I got even more annoyed at him when he started his tier list by committing a major logical fallacy.
Now, before we get into it, we gotta address a few things, because as you all may know, some people in this community validate their self-worth based off of purely subjective tier lists, and to those people I must say, you're going to get offended because your character isn't in a spot you wanted them to be in. I need you to grow the fuck up and stop being a beta male.
So here Gacha Smack is committing the classical logical fallacy of poisoning the well by claiming anyone who disagrees with him is a beta male. And it's like you're making a video on an anime mobile game, 95% of people watching will classify as beta males. Like the only thing I can think of that is more beta than watching an anime mobile gaming video is making them. And as someone who is a low-T, lactose-intolerant beta male that makes anime mobile gaming videos, I just think this is a very cheap way of giving plausible deniability to any tier list placements I may disagree with. And the thing is, I actually didn't end up with disagreeing much at all with this tier list, which just annoys me even more, as now I'm unsure whether I'm scared of disagreeing due to an unknown insecurity I have of being such a beta male. Anyways, I think I will place this one into the D tier. Next tier list YouTube recommended me was from a theory crafter who goes by I Win to Lose Gaming. And the first thing I noticed was that this theory crafter is on a version 1.3 tier list, which implies they already made 4 tier lists, and honestly that's kind of concerning. And at first I thought I Win to Lose Gamer was doing a YouTube meta play of spamming similar tier lists back to back due to it being good for YouTube search, but unfortunately that is not the case. The tier lists all vastly differ from one another. Like in the version 1.2 tier list, I Win to Lose Gamer has all these trailblazers in the A tier, but then in the version 1.3 tier list, he changes his mind completely and moves them all down to the B tier, which is just an unhinged, unevaluated, unreasonable, uneducated, and unmedicated change. Like, having your opinion be malleable is fine, but I have to be honest, you guys, there exists a fine line between being open-minded to let info into your brain versus being so open-minded that your brain falls out of your skull completely. And unfortunately, I think we have a case of the latter here. So I'm going to have to put this one into the D tier. Next tier list I found was again from LOL Brando, but this time he ranks the 4-star Trailblazers.
Shang, A tier. Natasha, also A tier. Danheng, S tier. Qing Chui, B tier.
And once again, the comment section has done you again, LOL Brando. They have done you again. Lil Bro got cooked in a major way. Very common, LOL Brando L. Ain't no way he made another tier list. It's Jover, Awari Doll F tier. Next tier list I saw was one from the infamous theory crafter Tectone. And given how this tier list had the most views, I was expecting it to be the most researched and accurate one. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and actually the tier list isn't even completed yet when you watch the video. Instead, it's just 2 hours of Tectone enslaving other theory crafters to finish a tier list for him, and you can tell at a certain point they just start half-assing it. Like near the beginning of the video, they spend a whole 10 minutes on Bailu to only overrate her in the A tier.
I think that is incredibly fair. I think A tier for Bailu is incredibly fair.
But when discussing a more worthwhile trailblazer in Serval, they only spend 10 seconds and still manage to spread massive misinformation in that time span.
Next up, we have Serval. High A, low B. Or a little bit low A, high B.
I haven't spent any time with her, to be
Cool.
fair.
Higher or lower than Jingyuan at E4?
Definitely lower than Jingyuan. Not even a question.
Yeah, lower than Jing.
Are we
Mtashed
sure,
watched a
guys?
video once though. I don't know. Mtashed, input.
I don't fucking know.
And honestly, it's not surprising this tier list ended up being a massive flop because there was just far too many opinions going in, so we couldn't get good resolutions. There's a reason why in the CN theory crafting communities, there is a frequently cited proverb that goes, "Too many Chinese theory crafters spoil the tier list." And it seems this proverb holds true for non-Chinese theory crafters too, as I'm going to have to put this one into the D tier. The last tier list I will rate comes from the theory crafter Lily Aquina, and honestly, this tier list started off on very rocky footing.
Hi everyone, Lily here. Let's do something fun today.
The word fun just doesn't belong when discussing an anime mobile gaming tier list. There is nothing fun about presenting a tier list, like at all. It is a terrifying, stressful experience. Like, if you want to have fun, do a bunch of weed or something. Don't go through the grueling hard work of making and presenting a tier list. That said, despite Lily Aquina's suggestion of fun concerning me at the start, the rest of the tier list ended up massively impressing me. There was a lot of high-level plays, but particularly Lily Aquina's recognition that the deranged hoe March 7th is superior to Lynx proved to me that she is on another level, as most theory crafters wrongly rank March 7th too low.
I personally pick March 7th over Lynx due to the fact that she fills another role that Lynx can't do. Shield depleter.
And like, even the way Lily Aquina goes about clearly outlining her tier list constraints at the start of her video just shows that she is just on another intellectual wavelength compared to the rest of the theory crafters evaluated today.
The playstyle used as a basis for this tier list is Hybrid Break, which puts heavy emphasis on perfect rotation creation, personal damage, and break damage.
And I got to be honest, I do think we are just seeing new ways trailblaze here at tier listing anime mobile games and just being on another level. So I do think that Lily Aquina is truly deserving of her own tier above the rest, and for that reason, I'm going to put this tier list into the B tier.